My name is Blair. I am an urban gardener in Austin, Texas, and I am harvesting carrots. It is the beginning of May. These guys have been in the ground since February. They need to come out of the ground. They are crowding my plants, and also they're going to start getting woody if I don't get them out of the ground as soon as possible. So sometimes I have my daughter help me with this, but she doesn't want to do it right now, and they need to come out of the ground. So I'm at least going to do the orange ones. I'll probably save the purple ones for her. What I have is a bucket. This is just a bucket of water. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the carrots out of the ground, cut the tops off. The reason you cut the tops off, I'll show you how I'm going to do that. But the reason you cut the tops off is not because they're going to be stuck to all the other tops, but the reason you cut the tops off, and I cut these little tails off too, the reason you cut the tops off is so that if you were to just leave this carrot laying on my counter or in my fridge, the top portion is actually going to suck the water out of the main portion of the carrot. And we don't want our carrots to get, we want them to be nice and crisp and not to get flimsy. Just the flavor or the taste isn't as good. The texture is definitely off. So all I do is I come in here, I cut it right at the top, just kind of like you'd see a carrot in the store. Cut it right at the top, and then I drop it in the bucket of water. I don't worry about rubbing this dirt off, maybe if there's a major chunk, but I just drop it in the water. The reason I'm dropping it in the water is actually not to clean it. It's to let it continue to suck in some additional moisture so that, again, it doesn't become floppy and kind of gross. So there we go. I'm going to harvest all these carrots, and I'll show you my harvest at the end. I will say I am super excited about this harvest of carrots. I'm gonna have to figure out how to preserve them, but this is insane, the number of carrots I've gotten this year. There are a couple of things that made this possible. One, I put a row cover over this, and I think that prevented the carrots from being dug up by the squirrels. And I think I was talking to another gardener who suggested that might have also kept the moisture in while they were being planted. So I think that really helped, and this is a big, beautiful carrot. It's almost about to get woody, though. I think this is kind of the maximum size for this guy, so I gotta get these out of the ground. Okay, this is splitting. This is not the best thing, but I'm sure it's still a useful carrot. You don't want them to split. I think something causes that, but. At this point, I was stopped picking carrots and decided to start trimming up the bed in this section, just cleaning it up. There's a volunteer tomato here that had spilled over. Everything was kind of covered up by the carrots, and so I hadn't really had a chance to get in there and clean things out because everything was tangled. So I'm just taking the opportunity here to clean up the bed and get a little better airflow in there. And just generally right there, I'm realizing I need to tie up some of the tomatoes, so I'm off to get some tomato wires. All right, so one of the things I'm doing is adding some trellising. So this piece is sticking way off over here, and I'm just giving it a little support. All right, well, I did a little extra work there. I'm going to turn this around and show you the carrots that we harvested. I did a little extra work on the trellis fixing up, because it's always a good idea to get those stems secure before the tomatoes start to add a lot of load to them, and then suddenly your branches are breaking and you don't know why, or you don't wonder, or you wonder, why they're. It's because the plant can no longer support the weight of the fruit. Oh. All right, it's a little tough to see in here, but it's a decent number of carrots in here. I'd say maybe 1.5 pounds or 2, and I didn't do the whole row. I just did this little section right in here. Obviously there were less big ones underneath the big tomatoes and such, but there's still a whole row right here that I think will be some pretty big ones. I pulled out the one on the end and it was a lot bigger. And then I still need to harvest, but I am going to wait for my daughter on this one, these purple carrots over on this side. And then my carrots will be done for the season, and I won't plant any more until either the winter or maybe in the fall, because carrots they don't like Texas heat, put it that way.